Hello everyone, welcome to online lecture series of St. Vidya Mandir High School Junior College Science and Commerce. Myself Rajneesh Pandey for chemistry. Now I am explaining chapter solutions. In this chapter today I will explain vapor pressure and Raoult's law. This is important topics of this chapter. We will discuss about the Raoult's law, their deviation. Okay, so first, vapor pressure. What is vapor pressure? So before explaining this vapor pressure, first we see this structure. Here I am considering a liquid like water. So kinetic energy of surface molecule is what? Greater than the bulk molecule. So this molecule will evaporate, vaporized and form vapor. This process is called what? Vaporization. Surface molecule leave their surface and form this vapor. And after some time this molecule combine, condense and form the water, that is called what? Condensation. So vaporization and condensation. So an equilibrium exists between vaporization and condensation. At equilibrium stage, pressure exerted by vaporized molecule on wall of container is called what? Vapor pressure. At equilibrium stage, this is important part, when rate of vaporization equal to the rate of condensation. Now what are the factors affecting this vapor pressure? Factor affecting the vapor pressure. First, this vapor pressure does not depend on the shape and size of container. Not depend on shape and size of container. Because vapor pressure is what? Pressure exerted at unit volume. So not depend upon the shape and size of container. Second, it depend on the nature of substance. Yes, vapor pressure depend upon the nature of substance, because some substance are what? Volatile and someone is what? Non-volatile. Yeah, someone is the more volatile, someone is less volatile. So vapor pressure depend upon nature of substance. So on that basis we can classify this substance on two types: volatile and non-volatile. Non-volatile. Volatile means which evaporate, like H2O, C2H5OH, ethyl alcohol, benzene, toluene. These are the some examples of volatile substances. And non-volatile substance like urea, glucose, sucrose, these are the non-volatile substances. So volatile and non-volatile substance. Now next we discuss about the vapor pressure of solution. And this solution can be with the volatile solute and non-volatile solute. So here we discuss the solution of volatile solute. Solvent and solute both are what? Volatile. Both are volatile. So solution of volatile solute. How we discuss? Just to consider the example like water and alcohol, mixture of the water and alcohol. So water and alcohol both can be evaporate. So here we consider the solvent as a A1 and solute as a A2. I am taking two component A1 and A2, both are what? Volatile. So first see this A1, component A1. So when we keep this A1 separately, this is pure A1 component. So this A1 component at equilibrium having some pressure, vapor pressure, which is called what? P10. Means P10 is the pure vapor pressure of A1. This is pure vapor pressure of A1 component. A1 component, pure vapor pressure. Now second we consider the A2. This is also volatile. Therefore when we take this substance separately, that will also having some vapor pressure, which is called what? Pure vapor pressure of A2 component. Pure vapor pressure of A2 component. Pure vapor pressure of A2 component. A2. Yes. Now third things, when we mix these two component A1 and A2, this is the A1 interaction, here is the A2 interaction, and here I am making the solution. Solution is the mixture of A1 and A2. When we mix both component A1 and A2, then see this structure properly. Here I am taking both component A1 and A2. This is the mixture of the A1 and A2 in solution. This black color dot indicating A2 and the blue color is what? A1. So here we get the vaporized molecule. Both component can vaporized, blue as well as black, means component A as well as component B. At equilibrium stage, here is the solution. In this solution, we mix the component A1 and A2. So here is the interaction between A1 and A2, and this is the vapor pressure of solution. Now this is not the pure vapor pressure, this is the vapor pressure of this mixture solution, where both component evaporate, A1 as well as A2. So in this case, we discuss about the partial pressure, which is related to the Raoult's law. So next topic is what? Partial pressure. So now discuss the Raoult's law for volatile solute, and I will explain what is partial pressure and how it is related to the pure vapor pressure and mole fraction, which is given by Raoult's law. So Raoult's law for volatile solute. Again we make this diagram where I am taking the component A1 and A2. Both are volatile. Just consider A1 is the solvent and A2 is the solute. So this blue color I am taking for the solvent, which is A1, and black color dot, this one indicating what? Component A2, which one is solute, Yes. Now here is the vapor pressure of solution. Both component will evaporate and form the vapor pressure of solution. In vapor pressure of solution, where both component evaporate, both component vaporized at equilibrium form the vapor pressure, which is called what? Vapor pressure of solution. So in this total solution, total vapor pressure of solution, what is the contribution of A1 is called what? Partial pressure of A1, and contribution of A2 component is called what? Partial pressure of A2. So now we discuss here A1 and A2 are two component. Just consider A1 and A2 are component, and in solution, and it's partial pressure. Yes, its partial pressure are P1 and P2 respectively. P1 is the partial pressure of A1 and P2 is the partial pressure of A2. Partial pressure, I told you what is the partial pressure. And X1 and X2 are the mole fraction of component A1 and A2 respectively. X1 is the mole fraction of A1 and X2 is the mole fraction of A2. So as I told you, partial pressure means what? In total pressure, what is the contribution of component A? So according to Raoult's law, important statement, according to Raoult's law, partial pressure of a component in solution is the product of mole fraction and pure vapor pressure of that components. Vapor pressure of that component. This is the Raoult's law. What is the Raoult's law? Partial pressure is the product of the mole fraction and the pure vapor pressure of that component. According to this law, P1 is equal to P10 and X1, means X1 into P10, and P2 is equal to X2 into P20. This is the partial pressure. P1 is the partial pressure, therefore this is the product X1 and P10, and P2 is equal to X2 into P20, where P10 and P20 are what? Pure vapor pressure of component A1 and pure vapor pressure of component A2. Initially I had explained it. So P1 and P2, P10 and P20 are pure vapor pressure. So this is the Raoult's law. Partial pressure, this is the Raoult's law, important point. Partial pressure of a component is the product of mole fraction and pure vapor pressure of that component. Therefore P1 is equal to X1 into P10 and P2 is equal to X2 into P20, where P10 and P20 are the pure vapor pressure of A1 and A2. Now we see the derivation which is related to this. So next we discuss about the Dalton partial pressure theory. What is Dalton theory? Vapor pressure of a solution is what? That is the addition of the partial pressure of all components. So first, according to Raoult's law, what will get here? According to Raoult's law, P1 is equal to X1 into P10 and P2 is equal to X2 into P20. Yes, for component A1 and for component A2. Now according to Dalton's theory, total pressure of solution is equal to the partial pressure of A1 and partial pressure of A2. So addition, total pressure is equal to P1 plus P2. Addition of the partial pressure of both component is equal to the total pressure. Now instead of P1 we can write here X1 into P10 plus x2 into P20. Now we know that x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. x1 plus x2 is equal to 1, or x1 is equal to, or x2 is equal to 1 minus x1. So we can substitute the value of x2 in our equation. We get P total means total pressure of solution, vapor pressure of solution is equal to x1 into P10 plus 1 minus x1 P20. We multiply it, we get P10 x1 into P10 plus P20 minus P20 into x1. Now if we take this common, we get what? P20 plus P10 minus P20 into x1. This is the formula, Raoult's law for volatile solute, where Pt is equal to vapor pressure of solution, P20 is the vapor pressure of pure solute, P10 is the vapor pressure of pure solvent, x1 is the mole fraction of solvent, or component A1 and component A2, as I told you. Now this Raoult's law, where Pt is equal to P20 plus P10 minus P20 into x1. So solution which obeys this Raoult's law at all over the range of concentration is called what? Ideal solution. At all temperature and concentration, if obey the Raoult's law, is called what? Ideal solution. So we discuss here ideal solution and non-ideal solutions. So ideal and non-ideal solutions. So definitely solutions which obey Raoult's law at all range of concentration is called what? Ideal solution. If not obey the Raoult's law, is called what? Non-ideal solution. So this ideal and non-ideal behavior create because of the interaction forces. This is very most important part for ideal and non-ideal behavior. Interaction forces, force of interaction between this component. So first, ideal solution. Solutions which obey Raoult's law all over the range of concentration. At given temperature. Is called ideal solution. For example, benzene and toluene. Actual no any solution is the perfectly ideal, but this benzene, toluene, some solutions showing this ideal behavior at particular temperature and low concentration. Now ideal solutions, why these solutions showing the ideal behavior? So for ideal solution, when we discuss about the ideal solution, then mixture of solution is what? Not change. Volume of the mixture will not change. For example, if we take the 100 ml of benzene and 100 ml of toluene, then its mixture will form what? 200 ml. So volume of mixture, delta V of mixture is equal to 0, not change. It is the sum of the component A1 and component A2. Volume of the component A1 and component A2. This is the sum of the volume of component A1 and component A2. Therefore, delta V final is equal to addition of the V1 and the V2. So delta V of the mixture will not change. And second thing, heat of solution, that is the delta H, means when we mix the component A1 and A2, then neither heat absorb nor heat evolve. This delta H of solution remain constant, that is the 0. Third, very most important part, interaction force. So force of interaction of component A1 and component A2 are equal to the force of interaction of component A1 and A2. Means A1 interaction and A2 interaction is equal to the A1 interaction. So when force of interactions are same, then these solutions show the ideal behavior. For example, toluene benzene, when we consider the interaction force between benzene and toluene, then it is equal to the force of interaction between benzene and toluene. So that is called what? Solvent interaction, solute interaction, that is equal to the solute and solvent interaction. Because of that, this solution showing the ideal behavior. Because definitely vapor pressure will remain what? Same. Delta V of mixture remain what? Constant. When we consider delta S and delta G, sorry, it is not 0. It is what? Delta S always greater than 0 because of the spontaneous process, and delta G of solution always what? Negative. I will explain in the thermodynamic delta S and delta G. I will explain in the thermodynamic. So these are the conditions for the ideal solutions. Now some examples. Examples of ideal solutions. As I told you, when very small difference or negligible difference between two components, then these solution, this mixture form the ideal solution. For example, as I told you, methyl alcohol and ethyl alcohol. Here is the difference of the CH2, which is negligible. Toluene and benzene. Next one, N-hexane and N-heptane. Here is the difference of the CH2 only. N-hexane and N-heptane. So these solutions showing the ideal behavior means interaction force, solvent interaction, solute interaction is equal to what? Solute and solvent interaction, like ethyl chloride, ethyl bromide. So these solutions showing the ideal behavior. These are the ideal solutions. So this ideal behavior or ideal solution depend upon what? Force of interaction. Now non-ideal solutions which do not obey the Raoult's law, do not follow the Raoult's law. In this case, partial pressure is not equal to the product of the mole fraction and its pure vapor pressure. Do not follow this Raoult's law. Non-ideal solutions. Here total vapor pressure of solution is not equal to the partial pressure of P1 and P2, partial pressure of A1 and A2 component. In this case, P1 is not equal to the P10 into X1, and it is P2 is not equal to the P20 and X2. Means this is not equal to the product of the mole fraction and its pure vapor pressure. Now conditions, here delta V of mixture is not equal to 0. Definitely delta H is also not equal to 0 because it can be exothermic or endothermic. It depends upon the force of interaction. So third point, definitely force of interaction, solvent solute interaction is not equal to the solute and solvent interaction. So interaction force not equal to not equal, like that the AA interaction, AA and A1 and A2 interaction is not equal to the A1 A2 interaction, and definitely delta S is greater than 0 and delta G is less than 0. It is fixed in the all types of the solution, ideal as well as non-ideal solutions. Now this non-ideal solution can show the two types of deviation of the Raoult's law, which not always the Raoult's law is called what? Non-ideal solution. So it can show the positive deviation as well as the negative deviation. So two types of deviation can shown by this non-ideal solutions, positive deviation as well as negative deviation. So now we discuss about the positive deviation and negative deviation one by one. So next, Raoult's law. Means non-ideal solutions with showing positive deviation of Raoult's law. Non-ideal solution with showing positive deviation of Raoult's law. First we make the graph of ideal solution, then we can compare with the non-ideal solution. So ideal solution graph, pure vapor pressure versus mole fraction. So in this side we take this component A1, here mole fraction x1 is equal to what? 0 and x2 is equal to what? 1. Means in this side here only x2 means A2 component present, A1 is 0, and slowly A1 increases and A2 decreases, and finally it become what? A1 is equal to 1 and A2 is equal to 0. So at this side when we discuss about, when we consider the vapor pressure, then here we get the vapor pressure of only by component A2 means P20. This is the pure vapor pressure of the component A2, and here is the pure vapor pressure of component A1. Because here only A1 present, here is only A2 present. According to the mole fraction, x2 is equal to 1 and here is x1 is equal to 1. Slowly this x2 decreases and x1 increases from left to right, therefore its vapor pressure decreases. So when we make this graph, then we get what? This is the partial pressure and mole fraction relation. So say this first. Here this is the pure total vapor pressure is equal to what? P1 and P2. This is the ideal behavior. Total vapor pressure of solution is equal to addition of the partial pressure A1 and partial pressure A2. And here is what? A2 is equal to, sorry, A1 means P1 is equal to P10 and x1, and here is what? P2 is equal to P20 into x2. So this is the ideal behavior. This is the ideal solution. This P total can write in this way. Instead of P1 we can write what? P10 and x1 plus P2 is equal to what? P20 and x2. So we can write here P1 is equal to P10 into x1, P2 is equal to P20 and x2, and P total is equal to P1 plus P2. All these are follows the Raoult's law. That's why it is what? Ideal solution. But when we compare non-ideal solution, so we get the different kind of graph. Here I will make it. Just I'm writing here x1 is equal to 1 and x2 is equal to 0, and here we make this graph for the non-ideal solution. Non-ideal solution. With the positive deviation, I am showing here positive deviation. How it show the positive deviation? So see here, again we make this graph as usual. Here x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 1. Here we make what? From left to right, x1 increases, x2 decreases, then x1 is equal to 1 and x2 is equal to 0. Here vapor pressure is what? P20, and here vapor pressure is what? P10. P20, and here is what? P10. Okay, now we make this graph like this one. This is the ideal behavior. I am making this blue color graph which show the ideal behavior as like to the previous graph. But what is the positive deviation? So when we show the positive deviation, then we get this type of graph which I make with the black color. See, this is the positive deviation. We get this above this graph. In this case, Pt is what? Not equal to P1 and P2. In this case, P20 is not equal to P20 and x2, and it is also not equal to the P1 is not equal to the P10 and x1. So this is what not ideal solution. It not follow the Raoult's law. Showing the positive deviation, we get the graph above this ideal behavior. In short, we can say that this is related to the interaction force which I told you. So in this case, vapor pressure of solution is greater than the addition of partial pressure of P1 and P2. It means what? When we make this graph here, then we get what? P1 is greater than P10 and x1, and here P2 is greater than P20 and x2. P20 x2 product. So these are showing the positive deviation. I am writing here ideal, and here is non-ideal. Yes. Now here we get what? P total P1 is what? Greater than P10 and x1, and P2 is greater than the P20 and x2. Therefore P total is equal to P1 plus P2 greater than the P1 and P2. This is the positive deviation because of what? Interaction force. In this case, interaction force of solute and solvent is lower than solute and solvent interaction. Because of that, it shows the positive deviation. More molecule will evaporate, vapor pressure increases, total vapor pressure of solution increases. Therefore they show the positive deviation. Now positive deviation examples. Which solution shows the positive deviation? Like water and benzene. Now you can observe this. Water having what? Hydrogen bond. But when we mix with the water and benzene, then it not show this hydrogen bond. Yeah, hydrogen bond become what? Weak. Because of that, more molecule will evaporate. Similarly, methanol and benzene. So here interaction force of solution decreases. Means AA interaction and A1 interaction and A2 interaction is what? Lower than this interaction is what? Greater than the A1 A2 interaction. Means interaction of what? Solute and solvent is lower than the solute and solvent interaction. Very simple. Because of that, more molecule will evaporate and vapor pressure increases. Force of interaction decreases in solution. So when force of interaction decreases, therefore more molecule will evaporate and increase the vapor pressure. That's why P total is greater than the P1 plus P2. Now Raoult's law with showing negative deviation. Now we see the negative deviation. Definitely this is opposite of this positive deviation. Means interaction force of A1 and A2 will be what? Greater than the A1 and A2 interaction. Now see this graph first. X1 is equal to 0 and x2 is equal to 1. X2 is equal to 1. Here x1 is equal to 1 and x2 is equal to 0. Vapor pressure of this what? X2, P20, and here is the P10. We make this graph here. Yes, here is what? Yes, now this is the ideal behavior, but here we are saying what? Non-ideal behavior. So we get to ask this negative deviation, non-ideal behavior with the negative deviation. Negative deviation. So in this case, P total, yeah, P1 is less than product of the P10 and X1. P2 is the less than product of the P20 and X2, and P total is the less than addition of the partial pressure P1 and P2. In short, finally we can say that interaction force of solute and solvent is what? Greater than the solute and solvent interaction. Definitely delta V of 0 is what? Less than 0. Delta H will be also less than 0. As I told you, interaction force just opposite of this positive deviation. A1, A2, A2. Initially I told you A1 is what? Solvent, and A2 is what? Solute. Less than the A1 A2 interaction. Force of interaction. So this is showing what? Negative deviation. Now we consider some examples of solution which show the negative deviation. Which mixture showing negative deviation? I hope you understood about this interaction force. Examples, I will explain with example. Like that, the example of what? Chloroform and acetone. This is the very good example. Chloroform and acetone, individually they have what? Less interaction force, but when we mix it, then it form what? Hydrogen bonding. Chloroform make the hydrogen bond with acetone, and interaction force what? Increases. Because of that, less molecule will evaporate and vapor pressure decreases. All concentrated acid and the water, all concentrated acid means strong acid and water mixture is always show the negative deviation. Mixture of strong acids and water show the negative deviation. So you can write this H2SO4 and water, HNO3 and water, etc. So positive and negative deviation by non-ideal solution shows because of what? Interaction force. All these things, delta V, delta H, all these things depend upon the interaction force. So main cause of this deviation is what? Interaction force. Now Raoult's law for non-volatile solute. Now instead of volatile solute, when we take the non-volatile solute which not evaporate, we see this graph, sorry, we see this structure, then we can understand what is this non-volatile solute and what is the role of this non-volatile solute. So this blue color, I am taking this solvent which is volatile like water, and this I will cover this container, and this dotted black dot I am taking what? Solute, non-volatile solute like urea, sugar, glucose, non-volatile, non-electrolyte solution solute I am taking here. So these solute particles cover the surface of this solvent, means at the surface some solvent particle replaced by this solute particles which are non-volatile. Because of that, less molecule will evaporate. So vapor pressure decreases at equilibrium. Vapor pressure of solution decreases as compared to the pure solvent. I make it separately. This is solution, mixture of component A1 and A2. A1 is solvent, A2 is solute. Here I am making the separate structure for A1 component which is solvent. I am making properly. See this A1 component. means solvent, for example water. So when we take this water separately, no any solute present here, this is the pure solvent, only water present here, pure solvent. A1. So here we get the vapor pressure. So when we compare the vapor pressure of solvent, pure solvent, and vapor pressure of solution, then we get the difference. I am taking same amount of solvent, but here this is the vapor pressure of solution, which is called P, and this is the vapor pressure of solvent, pure solvent, which is called what? P10. So definitely P is less than P10 because of the non-volatile solute. This non-volatile solute cover the surface of solvent. So now we discuss the lowering of vapor pressure. What is the lowering of vapor pressure? Lowering of vapor pressure. Delta P. So as we know that P10 is greater than P, means vapor pressure of pure solvent is always greater than vapor pressure of solution for non-volatile solute, when non-volatile solute present here. Therefore delta P is equal to P10 minus P. This delta P is called what? Lowering of vapor pressure. This is called what? Lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure. P10 is the pure vapor pressure of pure solvent, and P is the vapor pressure of solution. So this is the lowering of vapor pressure. Now we see the relative lowering of vapor pressure. This is important. This is important. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. Next topic I will discuss here. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. Yes. Now first we consider this Raoult's law for volatile solute. What are the formula? Pt is equal to P20 plus. So according to Raoult's law, sorry, P total is equal to P20 plus P10 minus P20 into X1 for volatile solute. This formula is for volatile solute. Now when we consider for non-volatile solute, when this solution containing non-volatile solute, then P20 is equal to what? 0, because it cannot be evaporate, it cannot be vaporized, non-volatile. Because of that P20 is equal to what? 0. So we substitute the value of this P20, then we get what? For non-volatile solute. So when we substitute the value of P2, then we get what? P total is equal to 0 plus, instead of P2 we take this 0 plus P1 minus 0 into X1. So P total is equal to what? P10 into X1. Now as we know that X1 is equal to 1 minus X2. X1 is equal to 1 minus X2. Again we substitute the value of X1 in our equation. Then we get P total is equal to P10 minus into 1 minus X2. We multiply, then we get what? P10 minus P10 into X1. Okay. Now see this. As we know that what is the lowering of vapor pressure? Delta P is equal to P01 plus minus P. So we substitute the value of P total. So we get what? Delta P is equal to P10 minus, we substitute this value P10 minus P10 X1. Sorry, it should be plus हो जाएगा. this cancel, this will be plus. So finally we get what? Delta P is equal to P10 into x1, or delta P upon P10 is equal to x2 instead of x1. This should be x2. Sorry, this should be out x2. So this delta P upon P10 is called what? Relative lowering of vapor pressure. This is the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Delta P upon P10, relative lowering of vapor pressure. Yes, and this relative lowering of vapor pressure is the colligative properties. Now we start this relative lowering of vapor pressure, means colligative properties. Now start this topic, colligative properties. So relative lowering of vapor pressure we can write in this way also. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative properties. So colligative properties, the properties of solution which depend upon the number of solute particles, not on the nature. I will explain in the next lecture in detail. So P10 minus P upon P10 is equal to x2. This is the relative lowering of vapor pressure. So Raoult's law for non-volatile solute is what? Relative lowering of vapor pressure equal to the mole fraction of solute.